Hello there, all my lovely jewelry makers. I'm Christina of CSLdesigns, and in today's video we're going to be doing something rather different than I've done before, and I'm super excited about it. So I'm going to be trying out working with resin for the very first time. Now it's something I've been wanting to try for a very long time, so years basically, and I've just never really got around to push myself to do it, I guess. Do you know that feeling when you discover new things that you want to try out as hobbies? And sometimes it's just that certain one you think that if you try it, you're really going to like it and want to stick to it. Resin has always been one of them for me. I've always been really curious about trying it out, and I've always had the feeling that I was really going to like it. And spoiler alert straight away, I did really like it, and I definitely want to keep doing it. Now luckily then, a little while ago, Resin reached out to me and asked if I was interested in trying out some of their products, and then of course share the experience with you. And because I've really been wanting to try resin for so long, I couldn't turn that down. It was a perfect opportunity, and also I've been following Resin on Instagram for years in the first place, so it wasn't the first I've ever heard of them. And they basically gave me the option to choose a few things that I'd be interested in trying out, and I've already had a few ideas in my head that I knew I wanted to do with resin once I got around to it. And the first thing is, if you've seen those cabochons where of course you add the colour, but you then also add like a white sinker, that ends up creating all these really cool effects within, for instance, the cabochon, if that's what you're making. That is one thing I've always really wanted to try, so we'll be giving that a go. And then I've also had an idea where I'm using certain molds to create a final piece, and it is jewelry related, so we're going to be looking at that later on as well. And just a heads up, some of it has worked out pretty well, and some of it not quite how I wanted it to end up. But of course that's always the process of trial and error, and when you're trying something new as well. And it hasn't put me off doing this at all. So they sent me both UV resin and regular resin, and of course some accessories as well. And I decided to start with the UV resin. I felt that was a pretty good place to start since I'm a complete newbie and I've never tried this before. I have watched things over the years, videos and instructions and stuff like that, but obviously it's never quite the same when you do it the first time yourself in real life. So I decided to use some of the frames that came in the starter set, and also some of the molds, and then just added a few things like some glitter to some of it. There's some different coloured flakes, some of the dried flowers, and just playing around a little bit to begin with, just to kind of get into the feel of it. And I did also then think I would use some of the molds with the UV resin and then add some wire work to the piece as I was going. So for instance, I filled up the base of the mold first of all, just so the pieces I was going to add wasn't going to be all the way on one side. And then I'd made these little wire work features to basically put inside of the mold and then add resin on top of them. So for one of them, it was kind of almost like a frame shape. So I thought it'd just be kind of fun to twist some wire and make it the shape of the mold and then just place it down into it. That's then encased inside of the resin. I then made some wirework roses and added them to some little oval pieces. And again, it's like that wirework rose is just floating inside of the resin. And I thought that might give a pretty cool effect. And then there was also these molds with quite a large teardrop shape. And I thought that'd be perfect to basically write some words, with wire of course, and then place the words into the resin so it would basically have some actual more meaning to it as well. So on one of them I wrote enough, and on the other one I wrote worthy. Just some positive motivational words. I always really like that myself. I don't think you can ever surround yourself with too much of that. And then that's a really cute set of earrings. Next you can see I also tried using some of those dried flowers that are really cute. It's kind of nice the variety of them that came with it. And you can definitely make some cute little pieces. I also used those kind of sparkly flakes. One of them I got really excited and wanted to try and kind of make a rainbow with the different coloured flakes. So that's what that turned out like. I think it's pretty cool. Now those flakes are always a little bit difficult to work with because they kind of want to go everywhere. The slightest little poof. But I managed to work it out. And then there was also this really cool monstera leaf, I'm pretty sure it is, mold. And again I just used the UV resin first of all to cover the base. And then I added some of the green flakes, because obviously it's a leaf, so that kind of makes sense. But then at the same time it has a lot of sparkliness. And then of course covered with a layer of the UV resin on top as well. So they also turned out pretty cool, I think. It would also make a nice pair of earrings. So I definitely think starting out with the UV resin was a pretty good idea because it made me feel pretty comfortable with it. Now of course I know that the regular resin is different, but still it gave me the feel of how to kind of work with the resin a little bit. So I felt confident enough to move on to the regular resin. Now one thing I will say, I've always felt a little bit intimidated with some resin. It's purely the mixing of it, because some resins you kind of got to mix an uneven amount with each other, so like a 1:2 ratio, whereas this resin is actually a 1:1. So that really helped push away any hesitation I had, because a 1:1 ratio is not really going to get any easier than that. So I was really pleased with that. And then basically what I thought I would do is, because I was just starting out, I didn't want to go too complicated straight away. I was just going to start with some nice basic, hopefully fairly easy things. So I just kind of grabbed some of the molds And of course started mixing the resin, which wasn't that bad at all. I made sure to do it for quite a while like it says, so you make sure you've mixed it properly. And then I also had to add some colours, so that's where the alcohol inks come in, because I definitely like my colours, so I had to make sure to add a lot of colour to all these pieces. I'm basically a rainbow girl. So I'd also received a nice array of molds from Let's Resin, so I definitely had to try some of them out. And one of the things I'm most excited about, like I mentioned, is being able to basically make my own cabochons. And then of course, especially that effect with the white sinker, but we'll get to that a bit later. But in general, I just really love the idea of making my own cabochons because it is something I love to work with. And just a thought, you can basically make them exactly like you want them to be, both colour and anything else that you can add to it. And then there were also a couple of other molds that I thought would be interesting to try out. So there's an actual bangle mold, there's a ring, there's a sphere. And now you'll also see a couple of other molds because I have over the years accumulated a couple of molds here and there because I knew eventually I would try the resin. And when I saw a mold that I liked, I would kind of get one here and there. And because some of the time when I was mixing the resin, I had quite a bit left of one colour, because that's another thing when you're starting out. It's a little bit hard to judge the amount you need of everything, but of course that's something you'll learn as you get more experienced. But I would then use a lot of the other molds as well to kind of pour the excess resin, because I definitely didn't want to let it go to waste. Now once I'd kind of gotten a little bit more comfortable with the resin, I did want to try and do that white sinker like I mentioned. So I did the same thing, I mixed some resin, added colour and filled it into the molds, and then I started adding the white sinker and was obviously really hopeful and excited for the result. Now I then left the resin to set for at least the next day, because I definitely wanted to make sure I was set all the way through, and then the time came for demolding it. Now obviously that's both exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking at the same time. And unfortunately, this first round didn't really turn out like I wanted it to. So all the ones I did with the white sinker, it just didn't really get that effect that I wanted it to get, where the white sinker really drags all the color down further into the resin. It kind of didn't go very far. So obviously I had to kind of figure out what possibly could have gone wrong there. And I ended up getting two theories. So the first theory was that maybe I didn't shake the white sinker well enough. So the main sinker part of the white didn't really get properly into the resin, or there wasn't enough of it. So that could be one issue. And then I also thought the second issue could be that maybe I was working in too cold of an environment, because I know that can also affect the resin. I learned that from kind of watching multiple videos throughout the years. Basically the temperature that you're working in. And I was working in a pretty cold environment because we have winter here at the moment. So I kind of came to the conclusion that maybe those two factors is what affected it. So of course I had to try again because I really want to get that white sinker effect. I think it's so beautiful from everything I've seen other people do. And I really want to be able to do it myself. So I tried again. So I mixed some more resin and coloured it. And then again added it to some of the molds. And then I really made sure to shake out the white sinker. Which by the way, there was some white sinker with the alcohol ink package that they sent me. But then I also got a separate white sinker set where you basically decant it into some smaller tubes. And obviously it'll last a lot longer. So I decided to try that as well. The first one I used was from the alcohol ink set. And then I thought I'll try and use that from the specific white sinker set and mix it up and see if that might be any different. So like I said, I really made sure to mix up that bottle before I then poured that into the molds. And then I just went in for round 2 to try again and hope that it turned out a little bit better this time. And of course, once you do that, you gotta leave it for a day or two while having no idea how it's turned out on the other side. But once I did that, it was time to demold these ones. And I felt really hopeful that I'd sussed out what the problem actually was, and I fixed it so these were going to turn out perfect. It turns out I was wrong, because these basically turned out about the same as the first round. Maybe a slight improvement, but not really that much. So the two issues I kind of thought it might have been, so the white sinker not being shaken well enough, I kind of felt like I made sure that wasn't a problem because I did really shake it the second time. Way more than I did the first time. And then regarding the cold temperature of my environment, what I did prior to using the resin was actually put it in a warm bath. So I just let it sit in some warm water for a bit to make it a runnier consistency. So you'd maybe think that the white sinker would more easily sink into the resin. So I was also thinking that was going to help, and it turns out it didn't really. Now I am thinking that it's all well and good that I put the resin into that warm bath before using it. But while I was then using it, not in the bath of course, and I was mixing it and putting it into the molds and all that, because my environment was still cold, it probably had time to kind of cool down and become thicker before I had the chance to then use the white sinker. So that's probably why that didn't really help. I could definitely feel the difference as I was working with it right out of the warm bath, but it did seem like it got thicker fairly quickly because, like I said, it was quite cold in the room that I was working in. So yeah, basically it didn't really work out again. So I started getting a little bit frustrated thinking, okay, what can I do differently? What am I doing wrong kind of thing? So I didn't quite manage to figure out how to make the cabochon specifically and get that white sinker effect. So that's something I still have to work on. Now I will say there is one thing that I made where I did also use that effect and it worked out a lot better. And that is in the next thing I'm going to show you, which is the other idea I've had for so long that I wanted to try. Now I also requested a couple specific molds from Let's Resin because of this idea that I have, and one of them is this coaster set mold. So the point of that is that they were going to be a base to what I have in mind to make. And then there's also another set for the resin, which is kind of like a starter set that has multiple different things. And some of the molds in there are these kind of long shaped ones, whatever you want to call them, but in different shapes. So you have kind of like a square, you have circle, triangle, and then one that's shaped more like a gem. And those I wanted to use to combine with the coaster as the base. So my idea basically is that, like I said, the coaster would be the base, and then I would also make several of these long shapes, and once they'd all cured I would then use the UV resin to put them together and basically create a jewelry stand, mainly for rings. So I had that idea for quite a long time. Basically since I saw these molds for the first time, I thought of that way of putting them together to basically make a jewelry stand. So I was super excited about trying that out as well. Now of course this process took quite a while, especially for one of them, because there was 4 different shapes of the long molds. And on one of the pieces I just used one of each shape, but on the other one, so that's the rainbow one, which is the one I'm super excited about, I stuck with only using the gem shaped one in each of the rainbow colours. And obviously because there's only one of those molds I had to do that one at a time, so that took a while to kind of build all those colours up and get it ready. But that is the one I'm super excited about and happy with. So the first one I made, I just dyed the resin purple, surprise surprise. But then for the second one I basically wanted to make it a rainbow piece, because like I said, I love all colours and I love rainbows in general. So for the base, which was a coaster mold, I of course added the clear resin first of all, and then I used the alcohol inks to drip in afterwards. And I tried to be careful about that to make sure that all the colours more or less stayed separate, so it basically turned into a rainbow going all the way around in a circle. Now I will just say the first time I tried to make it, it didn't turn out super well because it ended up, the purple and blue and the kind of red turned into basically overpower all the other colours and it got really dark. So I felt like I had to try and do it again, so I did that. And the second time turned out so much better. And this one I also tried to use the white sinker because I thought that would be a really cool effect. And this is the one where the white sinker actually worked a lot better. I don't know why, because I don't remember doing anything differently. But like I said, I'm going to have to just experiment a bit more and get better at that white sinker effect. But I was really happy with how that base turned out. Now the only problem with this one is when I went to let the resin cure, so set for like at least a day, I obviously must have set it in not a perfectly level place. Because when I came back to it and looked at it, all the colour had kind of shifted slightly towards one side. So that's definitely a bit of a shame. And obviously something I'd have to be mindful of in the future, because I definitely don't want it to do that. But regardless, I still really like the way it turned out, and I kind of just saw that as a learning curve again as well, to be more mindful of how I place them to set and make sure everything is level. I might even see about using one of those, I forget what they're called, but where you have that bubble in the middle that shows you if something's level or not. But anyway, I wasn't going to let it bring me down too much because I was still really happy with the result, apart from it having shifted a little bit. Like I said, this was the one where the white sinker worked out the best as well. Now what I then needed to do was obviously make all the shards, you could call them, in these same rainbow colours as well. And like I said, I had to do them one at a time, so that took a while to build up. But then after that, when they were all ready, it was time to put everything together and get the final piece in place, which is then where I use the UV resin again. Which the benefit with that is that it's really fast to work with, and you basically get an instant result, as opposed to having to wait a day or two for something to set. Now regarding the shards, what I also did was made sure that when they were set to cure that they were at a slight angle, so that one was on purpose, but that was because when I then added them to the base, I wanted them to not be straight up and down. I wanted them to go slightly outwards to the side just to give it a bit more life, and just I think that would look nicer. So I purposely made them all sit at a slight angle so the base wasn't just straight across. So I added the shards to the purple base, and then I did the rainbow one after, and I'm really pleased with how this turned out. It's basically my idea come to life, and it's more or less just like I imagined. If anything, the rainbow one is even better, except for the shifting part obviously. But I really love the way that that turned out, and I think it's just quite a cool jewelry stand. That obviously all the shards are just perfect to put your rings on, and you could even put something in the middle, kind of like a necklace or bracelet or something. So yeah, that was my idea that I really wanted to do as well with the resin. So basically the couple of things that I've been wanting to try for so long have now fulfilled. Obviously I've still got stuff to work on. I really need to get better at the whole white sinker effect. That's something that I really want to do and get good at, because you can get such cool and beautiful effects, especially in cabochons. So I'll keep working on that. Now I did also end up with a lot of pieces at the end here because as I was going through, especially making those shards, every time I kind of mixed the resin and the colour, I had quite a bit left. So obviously I didn't want to waste it, so I added it into other shapes and molds. And this is also something I'm really excited about, just be able to make whatever cabochons you want to. For instance, the square ones that I made here as well, because I really want to get more square and rectangle cabochons to work with, because it's not something you see as often or find. So if it's something you kind of struggle to find and get hold of what you want, you can just make it yourself. And it's because I have a couple of things that I really like using the square and the rectangle shapes for, and that is specifically wire crochet. I've captured a few cabochons of different shapes, especially a square and rectangle, and I really like the way they end up looking. So I definitely want to get more of that shape. So now I have some. So now I can basically just be making them myself. And then there's also a really nice hat mold, and you can never go wrong with hats in my opinion. And then there's also these molds where you basically end up with some beautiful little gems in different shapes and sizes, and it's like they're faceted gemstones. Now of course it's resin, so it's not actual gemstones, but they still end up really beautiful, and they almost imitate the gemstones so well, and you can literally make them in any color that you want. And that's stuff that's perfect to put into rings, for example, earrings, or even a nice delicate pendant. So I'm also super excited about that. So that's basically my little resin journey for now. I'm definitely going to be continuing resin because I really got into this. Some of the times when I was sat doing it, I kind of didn't really want to stop and just wanted to keep going. But I'm pretty pleased with the stuff I ended up with. And of course, like I said, there's some stuff to work on still, which is an excuse to basically do more of it. So that's my little resin adventure for now. And thank you so much to Let's Resin for sending me all these products to try out. I'm super excited and grateful for that. And I can now add another medium to my jewelry making that I'm definitely going to keep working with. So I hope you enjoyed watching along as I discover this new medium as well. And of course I will leave links in the description box down below. From this experience I can highly recommend checking out Let's Resin. Also, like I said, I followed them on Instagram for a long time prior to this. And so far from my experience I can only recommend them. So again, thank you so much for watching this one. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.